Sally that girl in the kitchen. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally that girl in the kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make Sephardic Style Green Beans, Habichuelas con Tomate, also known as fasulias, which is what my grandparents would have called them, as that is what they called them back in Turkey. They are absolutely delicious as these yummy green beans get cooked in this delicious tomato sauce, and they are spectacular. They are an incredible side dish. You're going to love them. So let's not wait another second and let's get started. For today's recipe, you will need 5 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 yellow onions chopped, 2 garlic cloves also chopped, 2 teaspoons of salt, a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 18 ounces of tomato sauce, 26 ounces of chopped tomatoes, 32 ounces of chicken broth, and 32 ounces of frozen cut green beans. You will also need a cutting board and a knife, some measuring spoons, a serving spoon or a wooden spoon for stirring, and I like to use a glass measuring cup to help me pour in my chicken broth. You will also need a large pot with a lid. So now that we have all of our tools and ingredients together, let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is to chop your onion and your garlic and set them both aside. Then add your olive oil to your pot and then turn your stove onto medium heat. Then add your onions to the pot and begin to cook them. We are going to be cooking them for about 10 minutes. What we're looking to do is to brown the onions and have them sweat a little and release their delicious flavors into that olive oil, but we're not looking to get them very, very brown. We're just going to sweat them up and then we're going to give them some color. So this whole process should take about 10 minutes depending on the heat of your stove. Just make sure to give your onions a little bit of a stir every few minutes to ensure even cooking and browning. And then after about 10 minutes, you should achieve a nice golden color, and that is when you'll be ready to add your garlic. Garlic cooks up real quickly, so we want to add this in and then stir it together and just cook that for about 2 minutes. Be very careful because garlic tends to burn real quick. So just give it all a little bit of a stir, and then we're just going to cook it for about 2 minutes to allow the garlic to get fragrant. So after 2 minutes have passed, we're now ready to add our frozen cut green beans. I like to use frozen cut because they are super convenient and there's really no prep necessary. You don't even have to thaw them. They go in frozen. But of course, you are welcome to use trimmed fresh green beans. There's no problem with that. So once you add them, stir them together to combine the onions and the garlic with the delicious green beans and just bring all of the ingredients together. Then, once you've given all of it a good stir, we're going to start adding our salt, our ground black pepper, our onion powder, our garlic powder, and our sugar. I always add sugar to anything with tomato sauce to help balance the acidity of the tomato. Then give it all a nice stir and incorporate those ingredients. Now, once you've brought all of that together, it's time to add our tomato. So we're going to add our tomato sauce. And once all of that is in, then we will add our chopped tomatoes. Why two different types of tomatoes? Because it'll really create a nice smooth texture. We'll have the smoothness of the tomato sauce and a little bit of the chunkiness of the chopped tomatoes. It'll be perfect. And then we have to add our chicken broth. Now this really gives it tons of flavor. The combination of the tomato sauces and that yummy chicken broth is perfect. It's really what makes the dish. That and those golden onions really, really do the trick. So once everything is in, we're going to give it all a nice stir. It'll take the mixture about 10 minutes or so to come to a boil. And every few minutes, just stir everything together to make sure that nothing is sticking and to help those green beans thaw. And then we're bringing it all together until we start to see our liquid boil. Once we see the liquid starting to boil, then it is time to put a lid on our pot because we are going to be lowering our heat to allow the green beans to slowly cook and simmer because we want that yummy sauce to thicken and come together. So when you get to this point, put your lid on and then lower your temperature so that you can continue to slowly cook your green beans. Bring your temperature down to low. And if you have a simmer setting, you can actually use a medium simmer instead, but if you don't, low is fine. So at this point, all that is left to do is to every few minutes uncover your pot and very carefully give it all a stir. We just want to make sure that nothing is sticking and we just want to combine all those delicious ingredients, and then we put our lid back on and continue to cook. We do this every, I'd say 10 minutes or so because it's going to take the liquid a full hour to consume and to just really, really come together and thicken, which is what we're looking to do. Right now, your mixture looks like a soup, but by the time it is done cooking, it will have thickened and it will have become a delicious sauce. The transformation is remarkable. That slow simmer for that full hour will really do wonders to this dish. That chicken broth together with the tomato and all those yummy ingredients will make this dish absolutely delicious, and it's well worth the wait. Just remember to give it all a stir every few minutes because you want to make sure to keep the ingredients together and to keep them from sticking. But other than that, you just have to let your stove do its magic. If you've never had Sephardic style green beans in tomato sauce, you are in for a treat. They are so delicious. This is a very requested recipe of mine because they seem so simple. Green beans, how more simple can you get? But cooking them in this method with the chicken broth and the tomato is incredible. It really does something special for this dish. It's very, very tasty. So now all that is left to do is to serve your delicious habichuelas con tomate, or fasulias as my dad likes to call them. They are so good. All you need to do is to put them into a serving dish, and they are an incredible side for whatever you are serving. They are absolutely delicious, and everyone in your family is going to love them. So now it's time for my favorite part, the tasting. I need to serve myself some and take a bite, or maybe two. These are so yummy, I can't wait. Look at how delicious and rich that sauce looks. So good. Oh, wow. Just as delicious as I remember. They are always perfect. They're tender. Oh, so good. I need to take another bite. Look at how yummy those look. Wow. You're gonna love these. They're great.
So how delicious do these look? Those yummy green beans in that thick, savory tomato sauce. They are so good. The video doesn't do them justice. You have to try these. Trust me. No, better yet, don't trust me. You're gonna have to try to make this recipe yourself. And of course, if you've enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And most importantly, remember to subscribe to my channel and to touch that little notification bell so that you don't miss out on a single amazing recipe that I have planned for you. See you next time.
Sally, that girl in the kitchen.